Coming up on Cronkite News, ASU men's basketball bounced into Brooklyn for the Legends Classic and rolled out with a big win.
Plus, one fall league in Arizona is helping people with disabilities enjoy the game of baseball.
And later, lung cancer is affecting this group of people worse than others. We have the details coming up.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Nikki Pica.
And I'm Edison LaCour. Thank you for joining us. Arizona State men's basketball went into the Barclays Center last night and won convincingly over number 20 Michigan to take the Legends Classic championship. The 87-62 victory was Bobby Hurley's 10th win over a ranked opponent in the 8 years he's been at ASU. The offense was dominant, notching the largest margin of victory over a ranked opponent in program history. But the Sun Devil defense didn't let up, holding the Wolverines to season lows in points and field goal percentage and securing the win for the Sun Devils.
Fifth-ranked ASU Wrestling pulled off a huge win over third-ranked Missouri last night in Mullet Arena, and the match decision came down to the final heavyweight bout. In the deciding match, the Sun Devils put their trust in Colton Schultz, the reigning Pac-12 champion and NCAA runner-up. Schultz sat in the driver's seat last night against 7th-ranked heavyweight Zach Elam, leading ASU to their second win this year. Schultz made his season debut last night, and he feels like he's in full form already, but is just starting to tap into his full potential.
You know, it's just actually this week I kind of had a real awakening kind of moment. I was looking back on my college career so far. I feel like I've really been able to do that without really giving it my all. For this year, I want to make sure I'm pouring my everything into it, doing everything right that I can, and really taking ownership of all the controllables.
From the wrestling mat to Sun Devil Stadium, football is wrapping up the season with their senior night homecoming game, following a loss last week to Washington State. In this last home game, the Sun Devil defense has a large task ahead of them, as the dominant Beavers offense has over 2,000 rushing yards on the season. Defensive lineman Nesta Jade Silvera knows the Beavers offense is going to be tough to stop.
Their offensive line moves quick. They work cohesively. They're a pretty tall unit. They got three very good running backs. Can't name the numbers off the top of my head, but 6 is a very good one. A quarterback who can get the ball where it needs to be. You know, he's going to take his reads and get the ball where it needs to be. And they got their couple boots and explosive plays off their runs that they run so much.
The Sun Devils are looking to avenge their 24-10 loss from last year. Kickoff is tomorrow afternoon at 12:15.
As Fall League is wrapping up in Arizona, there was one league in particular that has children excited to go out to play ball. Cronkite News reporter Ryan Meza takes us to Scottsdale for the first pitch.
One of the best fall leagues in Arizona gives everyone the chance to play baseball. With their accessible stadium in North Scottsdale, Miracle Leagues of Arizona gives children, teens, and adults with disabilities the opportunity to shine on a team. Two shining Miracle League stars are the Allen twins. Bradley and Thomas have participated with the Miracle Leagues for about 4 years after moving to the Valley from England.
And the boys just wanted to do something that they could do together, and because it enables Bradley to be able to feel part of a team. It's just a great environment for all kids.
Thomas has a profound hearing loss in both ears, and Bradley has multiple disabilities, but his main one is cerebral palsy.
He struggles with his strength and his balance. Occasionally he plays in his wheelchair, but because he's able to take his time and have the support of a buddy, it gives him the ability to play just like the other children as well.
Bradley and Thomas's buddy Julie has been a fun and impactful person who celebrates the boys' abilities during their time in the league.
And just seeing the kiddos have the opportunity to be able to play and hit home runs and run around the bases and celebrate, that's really why, is just to be able to see them experience baseball.
It's fun just being able to get some exercise and coming out of the house and not just playing video games all day.
At only 12 years old, when Thomas gets a bat in his hands, it's game over. And when asked if he practices much on his hitting, he may tell you.
Nah, it's just natural.
Thomas has gained in his confidence.
And fame.
But Bradley, it's given him a sense of independence. It's something that he feels that he can go and do without me being there all of the time, and just gives him the team spirit that I think he really likes.
Miracle League is an inclusive baseball league that has created a family dynamic and supports all children, which has led to an incredible atmosphere that lives by the Miracle League motto, everyone deserves a chance to play baseball. In Scottsdale, Ryan Meza, Cronkite News.
The Miracle League of Arizona has just wrapped up their fall season and has opened registration for the winter season, which begins in January.
One 16-year-old Valley resident is the brains behind one of the largest wiffle ball tournaments in the Phoenix area. Cronkite News reporter Michelle Aaron was at Scottsdale Stadium for the 3rd annual Western Wiffle Ball Classic.
Like many teens, Logan Rose was initially disappointed when sports were canceled during COVID. He has been playing baseball since he was 2 years old. He was inspired to start the Western Wiffle Ball Classic after creating a 4-team league in his backyard during the pandemic. His league quickly gained a large following on social media, but Rose credits his dad for helping him start a tournament at Scottsdale Stadium.
When you're passionate about something, you definitely work harder, but I got some help from my dad. He had some good connections.
Rose explained that wiffle ball is essentially mini baseball, but instead of a catcher, there's a backstop. And it's played with a plastic ball that curves and sinks intensely.
It's more fun. You can all the ways the ball can move. Hits are cool. It's just fun game.
Rose's tournament caught the attention of Major League player Trevor Bauer on social media. Bauer, who is currently appealing a 2-year suspension for violating MLB's domestic violence policy, came out to play.
I live in the area. They got a tournament going on out here. Figured we'd come out and check it out. We played with a couple other wiffle ball teams before. It's a lot of fun.
The embattled pitcher agrees. Throwing a plastic ball is a lot different.
The ball doesn't travel the same way because it slows down a lot more in the air and it moves a lot more at the plate. So it's a lot harder to hit. The bat is smaller, like the barrel's a lot smaller, so pretty challenging.
While these plastic wiffle ball bats may look like child's play, in some cases it can take years to perfect the perfect swing.
I'm still trying to perfect it, so it's a never-ending journey. I'm still trying to find that perfect pitch that doesn't get hit, but I'm having a great time in the process.
Rose hopes to continue to grow the sport of wiffle ball, not just in the Valley, but all over the country. His ultimate goal is to make the Western Wiffle Ball Classic one of the biggest tournaments, if not the biggest, in the nation. In Scottsdale, Michelle Aaron, Cronkite News.
The 2022 tournament had 42 teams competing for a championship. Rose has already started planning for the 4th annual tournament, which he hopes can accommodate more teams.
Some people started hunting, others in scout troops, but competitive archery is rarely talked about outside of the Olympics. Cronkite News reporter Kevin Redford spoke with 2 of the country's most accomplished young compound bow archers, both of whom are based in Phoenix.
There's a feeling that you know when you've done your form, right? And the second you release the shot, you're like, that's in the middle.
Alexis Ruiz would know what the perfect shot feels like. As a member of USA Archery, Ruiz became a world #1 archer in the compound category as a teenager.
I became #1 in my rookie year on the World Cup stage. No one knew who I was. One of the commentators on the videos called me the teenage sensation because I was only 19 at the time.
Success at that age comes with sacrifice, but according to Ruiz's mom, it paid dividends for the now 23-year-old.
You know, she would be upset. She would miss prom or she would miss this. And I would be, but if you had to weigh your options, what are you going to choose? And she always chose archery.
Ruiz and her teammate Cooper French are based out of Arizona Archery Club in Phoenix. French, also a Team USA competitor and former world #4, found his passion for the bow off a family Groupon code.
My sister was better than me when I first started, but she just didn't have the same attraction towards shooting archery. Then it was something that my dad and I wanted to continue doing. And then one of the coaches here said, hey, you're a pretty good shooter. Maybe you should look into tournament archery.
A gold medal and multiple national championships later, the rest is history.
Now I'm 21, and my goals are to continue making world teams, shooting professionally, and competing internationally for the United States.
Now, Ruiz and French both shoot with compound bows, which are different from the recurved ones you see on TV in the Olympics. But they both hope that that could change as soon as 2028 in Los Angeles.
It's a lot bigger than you think it would be. There's hundreds and thousands of people that go to these tournaments. And then always the Olympics comes up. I go, do you go to the Olympics? And I sadly have to say no.
In the meantime, both are wrapping up their college degrees, competing locally, and doing what they can to grow the sport in the state.
I love coaching. I love working with kids and getting people into the sport because it's not known to a lot of people. So bringing the awareness around it is amazing.
As they get older, the goals change, but nobody knows about sticking to a target more than an archer. In Phoenix, Kevin Redfern, Cronkite News.
In between World Cups, you can find Ruiz and French preparing for the Vegas Shoot, archery's most prestigious individual event, held in Las Vegas each winter.
Snow Bowl is open for their winter ski season. Sarah Blue joins us at the Google touchscreen. Sarah, it looks like it's going to be a chilly weekend for some skiing.
Exactly, Edison. Well, if you're hitting the slopes this weekend, you'll want to bundle up. There's going to be winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour with gusts all the way up to 25 miles per hour. We're looking at sunny skies with a high of 23 degrees and a low in the teens tomorrow. Now, we don't have snow in our forecast, so this weekend at Arizona Snow Bowl, we're going to have man-made snow with a base depth of 24 inches. There's going to be 7 trails open with 2 ski lifts open. Taking a wider look city by city, we're going to be in the 40s down in Flagstaff and Parks, warming up as you move to the west. Now remember, Arizona Snow Bowl is at a much higher elevation than the surrounding area, so it will be much colder. That's why we're going to see 23 and windy tomorrow. We're going to jump up to 29 on Sunday and finally reach those 30s on Monday. Now in Phoenix, we have a much different weather story, and I'll tell you all about it in my full forecast later in the show.
Plus, after the break, research shows that lung cancer is disproportionately affecting this group of people. Find out how prevention and detection are key reasons for the illness.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge? You can do anything. History is today. Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just gonna love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village.
The landscape of criminal investigation.
Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavor to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is mystery. I can hardly wait.
Art was one of the powers that made life life. I think we all believed that.
I'm gonna kick down every single door. I'm gonna show you what you never ever seen before. So control you, I'm gonna show you.
This is a real life story of a real live person.
This was my only connection to my culture.
Fight the power.
Our stories deserve to be heard.
You're passionate and you respect your heritage. That is a perfect recipe.
Now is the time for the Reformation. Now is the time to rebuild the nation.
That's amazing.
You're making me cry.
Some girls can go out there and just steal a spotlight.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
Everyone has something to contribute to humanity. The arts are the thing that does that.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Diana Quintero. Though the national 5-year survival rate has risen from 21 to 25%, Arizona lags by 1 percentage point, according to the 2022 State of Lung Cancer report. The report also indicates that people of color who are diagnosed with lung cancer face worse outcomes compared to other communities. Cronkite News reporter Jimena Vera tells us why.
Lung cancer remains the deadliest cancer, and experts estimate more than 5,000 Arizonans will be diagnosed with this disease this year. The lung cancer report shows that only 2.2% of Arizona residents who are eligible have been screened for lung cancer. Today, nonprofit Unlimited Potential conducted a health fair to educate the South Phoenix community about prevention, including smoking.
We have to wait until we have a diagnosis. We are together creating this culture of health, so we don't have to really go into the other step of being really sick.
The American Lung Association's lung cancer report released this week highlights the toll of lung cancer in Arizona and examines key indicators, including new cases, survival rate, early diagnosis, and screening rates.
We want to talk about that screening really is the key to reducing lung cancer burden in the state in Arizona.
The report shows Arizona as position 44 for lung cancer screening and 49 for lack of treatment. The report also highlights that people of color who are diagnosed with lung cancer face worse outcomes compared to white Americans, including a lower survival rate, less likely to be diagnosed early, less likely to receive surgical treatment, and more likely not to receive treatment.
We create awareness, we talk about different types of cancer, we motivate and empower our community through that education.
In Arizona, Asian Americans are the least likely to be diagnosed with lung cancer early. In the newsroom, Jimena Vera, Cronkite News.
If you think inflation is making it harder for you to afford a traditional Thanksgiving meal, imagine if you had to feed hundreds or even thousands. That's the problem that Arizona food banks are grappling with as the holidays approach. Cronkite News reporter Emily Miranda has more from our Washington bureau.
Inflation hits everybody, but it's hitting Arizona food banks particularly hard this holiday season. It means more people need their services at the same time that food banks have to pay more for those meals.
I think the holidays are going to be a hard time for many of our food banks clients.
For organizations like the 7th Street Food Pantry, it makes it less likely they will be able to serve the 500 families they fed last Thanksgiving, says Director Ginger McLam. Food banks were already seeing an increase in visitors before the holiday. Midwest Food Bank, which distributes to other local pantries, expects up to 50,000 more people will seek help over the holiday season. And the donations that food banks would normally rely on are down because of inflation.
We just sent out a fundraising letter to 1,500 people, the first time in 30 years we have ever asked for donations. Prior to this time, the money just came in and it covered the service numbers.
Supply chain issues, cancellation of food from the federal government, and the bird flu, which has cut into the supply of turkeys this year, have all made it harder for food banks to procure the food for a traditional Thanksgiving meal.
We're able to kind of make things work based off of what our inventory is. It may just not be the exact traditional combination of food for the Thanksgiving meal, but it still gives the chance for families to have like a full diverse meal.
Despite the struggle, many are still optimistic that the holiday spirit will push people to donate.
So we're still hopeful for a strong holiday donation season, both in terms of food and funds. But yes, we are aware that a downturn in the economy can impact our donations.
For those unable to donate this Thanksgiving, food banks suggest volunteering your time. In Washington, Emily Miranda, Cronkite News.
Officials we spoke to also remind people that donations to charities like food banks this Thanksgiving or anytime can be eligible for an Arizona tax credit of up to $800. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and those fan-favorite foods are on top of everyone's minds. But if you plan to travel, only some foods will make it past TSA. Food that can spill, spread, or spray is not recommended by TSA. Any food larger than 3.4 ounces must go in checked luggage. You can bring ice packs to keep food cold, but they must be frozen solid when it enters security. Baked goods, meat, and stuffing should all go through with no issues. If you take a look at their What You Can Bring section on their website, you can find more details. With Thanksgiving coming up, are you getting ready to jump on a plane or in a car to go spend time with family? Getting there could be stressful. Here are some tips that could help reduce the stress. First, take control of your posture and breathing. Sitting for a long period of time can have negative effects. According to research, taking deep breaths for 90 seconds can help you relax and bring down your stress hormones. Second, drink lots of fluids. That will help with those muscle cramps and achy joints you experience on the road. Lastly, experts say to stand and walk as much as possible, and take a moment to stretch on the road and when you arrive at your final destination. As temperatures are dropping, I can't seem to walk out to my car without bundling up in the morning. What about you, Sarah? Can we expect more cool mornings moving forward?
Exactly, Diana. It is pretty chilly outside. Tomorrow we're going to be waking up to those 50s, but we're not going to be warming up to the 60s until around 10 a.m. Now we have an even bigger cool down coming up as we have an area of low pressure hanging out over our state, bringing that cool, dry air from the north. It's also bringing some high winds, which will be concentrated along the Mogollon Rim in the high country, but mostly along this western part of the state with Bullhead City and Lake Havasu City being over 30 miles per hour with those wind gusts. Now those high winds are bringing cooler temperatures for that region, seeing 60s along the western part of the state. In the lower deserts, we're hanging in those 70s and 60s. Casa Grande 71 and Globe 61. In the high country, seeing those 50s and 40s, Sedona 65 and Grand Canyon 41. But in Phoenix, we're going to enjoy those 70s tomorrow. But we're going to jump down to cooler temperatures on Sunday, reaching 71. Monday, we're going to continue to warm up through the rest of the week. On Thursday, we're going to have a nice temperate Thanksgiving, but we're going to continue to warm until Friday. From the Cronkite News Weather Center, I'm Sarah Blue.
That's it for today's top news stories. Back to you, Nikki.
Thanks, Diana. Coming up on Cronkite News, the Coyotes are using a new program to help spark a love for hockey at an early age.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun. Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge?
You can do anything.
History is today. Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just going to love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village. The landscape of criminal investigation.
Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavour to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is mystery.
I can hardly wait.
Art was one of the powers that made life life. I think we all believed that.
I'ma kick down every single door. I'ma show you what you never ever seen before. So control you, I'ma show you.
This is a real life story of a real live person.
This was my only connection to my culture.
Fight the power.
Our stories deserve to be heard.
You're passionate and you respect your heritage. That is a perfect recipe.
Now is the time for the Reformation. Now is the time to rebuild the nation.
That's amazing.
You're making me cry.
Some girls can go out there and just steal a spotlight.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
Everyone has something to contribute to humanity. The arts are the thing that does that.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Hockey is continuing to grow here in the Valley, thanks in part to the Arizona Coyotes. The team launched their first annual Stride roller hockey program to help kids of all ages learn the game. Cronkite News reporter Joseph Furtado skates us through the event.
Hockey here in the desert might not be the most popular amongst kids when it comes to playing sports, but thanks to some help from the National Hockey League, the Arizona Coyotes were able to launch their first stride roller hockey program to help grow the game of hockey here in the Valley.
You get it out of the last form, you go back towards the net.
A deck rink was built right here in Scottsdale, which has been the perfect mix of getting kids outside and learning the game of hockey.
I think it's awesome. The kids really enjoy it. They love it. We're enjoying the beautiful weather outside, so it's great.
The First Stride program consists of 10 sessions and is kept affordable to encourage kids to come out and try hockey for the first time. The program varies in price between $60 to $150, which covers equipment and practice. Though through all the skating, the coaches say the most important thing is for the kids to have fun.
I'm hoping that these kids can go and tell their friends about how much fun they had and just kind of keep building the program and, I mean, eventually, hopefully, start some teams in the IHAS. So that's our goal.
All right, on 3, go Yotes, okay? 1, 2, 3, go Yotes!
We're out here at the Coyotes First Stride event in Scottsdale, where a lot of these kids are just learning how to pass, shoot, and skate for the first time. This event runs through November. The kids are having a lot of fun out here, so come get your kid on out here skating in Scottsdale. Joseph Furtado, Cronkite News.
This particular program took place in Scottsdale, but the Coyotes also offer First Stride in Tucson. You can visit youth.arizonacoyotes.com for more information.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.